Tens of thousands of homes lost power in the metro area today and tonight due to the storm. Tonight, IPL is saying it could be days before some areas get their power back. Drew Smith joins us live now from Broad Ripple with more. Drew?
Well, the power is back on in this part of town in South Broad Ripple, right off of College Avenue, but a lot of people still in this area are without power, and some of those folks are hunkering down and staying warm with blankets and wood-burning fireplaces. Still, for others, they had to get out of the house and find another place to go to stay warm. Trees down all over the metro, like here at 70th and College, the fallen timber blocking the snow-packed roadway. In South Broad Ripple, residents say they lost power early this afternoon.
Yeah, I went down about 2, and we've been out. We've had cross-country skiers and snowball fights and snowmen making, and we're just waiting for it to come back.
Waiting for the power to come back on is not something John Wood is willing to do. The 83-year-old shoveled what he could, then got a reservation for him and his wife and their small dog to go to a hotel where there is power. How long do you think you might have to stay there?
I hope not more than overnight, but...
Okay. Your plan is to come back here tomorrow if you can.
As soon as the power gets back on, yeah.
The heavy wet snow is wreaking havoc with trees and power lines causing widespread outages.
And then like tonight with the cold front, the wind chill and the extreme cold that's coming in, we can see that sometimes you can see that could cause the wires to contract, and so that can cause outages as well.
IPL is urging people to be patient as crews will be working 24/7 through Thursday if needed.
We're looking at restoration that could take anywhere between 24 and 48 hours, so they may want to look at seeking alternate shelter.
This woman lost power at her house but didn't lose the power to improvise.
In Indiana, you don't get that many opportunities to use your cross-country skis right out your front door, so.
But there's much more to it than a rare opportunity to ski down a city street.
Luckily, we have a wood-burning stove, so I'm going to do a circle around our block and let neighbors know that if it is still out by this time tomorrow, if anyone needs to come over and get warm.
Once again, IPL says their crews are going to be out 24/7 until everybody gets their power restored, but it might take a few days. Let me show you what the real problem is here. We're in South Broad Ripple, and take a look at this tree here. These huge limbs have come down because of the weight of this heavy snow, and I'm not a meteorologist, but I can tell Kevin Gregory just a couple of moments ago when we were in that report that the wind was whipping at about 40, 45 miles an hour here, so needless to say, seriously dangerous conditions out here tonight. Be safe and be warm. Reporting live in South Broad Ripple, Drew Smith, RTV6.
That is going to be a huge problem, Drew. Thank you very much. The temperatures that are coming in just hours are going to make those power outages very dangerous, of course. Emergency room doctors worry about people who use alternative heating sources to try to keep warm. RTV6 reporter Tanya Spencer is live outside Methodist Hospital ER to continue our team coverage. Tanya.
Yeah, you heard Drew talking about those winds. We're feeling them out here now, too. And we've been out in this all night. And at 6 p.m., huge difference than now at 11 p.m. It was really quite warm. We were quite toasty all evening. And now it's just becoming brutal as those winds pick up. And with wind chills like this, so many things can land you in already busy emergency rooms. Doctors worry about carbon monoxide poisoning from people running gas generators to try to stay warm. Also, just other cold weather related injuries like heart attacks and lung issues, slips and falls that could leave broken bones and injuries, and of course frostbite, hypothermia. And that's why there are so many shelters open all around central India tonight. Shelters open mainly for people who offer.
I have no heat or nothing, so, and they said it might be days before we got it, so they wouldn't let me stay home. I was all set to stay in bed and keep warm, but they wouldn't let me stay, so.
But IPL has told us that currently there are no crews working in Lawrence. They're working elsewhere throughout the county, and it may be days before they get to us.
How big of a concern is that with the temperatures coming?
It's a very big concern.
You know, what we recommend is, unless you absolutely have to stay indoors, because once you get outside, any exposed skin within about 10 or 15 minutes can actually freeze. Hypothermia is another big risk, especially the elderly and the young. It doesn't take very long in these type of temperatures to become, cold enough that you start exhibiting symptoms of hypothermia.
Now, only a handful of people have had to go to that shelter in Lawrence so far, but that could change. As the temperatures plummet, more branches and power lines could freeze and more people could lose power. More details on the cold tonight. While it is cold for us, we have to remember that it will be just as cold for animals. According to the Indiana Board of Animal Health, most pets cannot tolerate more than 20 minutes outside when the temperatures drop below zero. If you see an animal in the cold with no shelter, call Animal Care and Control.
The roads are a mess, and several businesses and schools have already been canceled. But for those of you who still have to get to work tomorrow, you're probably wondering if you'll be able to make it. Our TV6 reporter Chance Walser has some important information to pass along. Chance?
Yeah, Erica, NDOT officials tell me if you do have to make that morning commute tomorrow, plan on it being difficult, dangerous, and slow going. They will have a full call out of crews tonight, but there's only so much they can do as the wind and the snow continues to blow around. With the temperatures and blowing snow, their ice melt and salt won't work as well, if at all. Through the night, there is only so much they can do, they say. This is anything but your average winter storm. As the wind blows, so do my thoughts right out of my brain here. DPW echoes those statements essentially. There's some good news tonight, though, for neighborhoods. The city has footed the bill to hire private contractors to get out there and clear those neighborhood streets. It's a call the city makes only in extreme conditions, 6 inches or more. I think this storm definitely qualifies.
It's a very heavy snow, and the wind is going to be the biggest factor. It's as soon as you plow, you go back and you think it's clean, and then here comes the wind. And my understanding is the wind's going to pick up later this evening, so that's going to be the biggest factor.
That is a factor. She was right. The wind is definitely picking up. A couple other notes for you. DPW wants to remind you that Monday and Tuesday trash will not get picked up, which means they will essentially do a double pickup next week. Also, Indigo will not operate regular bus service tomorrow. They will make their medical runs that they usually make, but regular bus service is canceled. Live downtown, Chance Walser, RTV6.